Hi, passionate Rangers FC fans. Welcome to Rangers Update, your dedicated source for all things Rangers. Before we dive in, we want to express our gratitude for your unwavering support. If you bleed blue, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and let's strengthen our community. Now, let's get into the latest updates. A hearty welcome to our new followers. Your backing means the world to us. WATP, let's get to the news. The Scottish Football Association has landed a heavy blow on Rangers after the club's outspoken criticisms of refereeing decisions in recent matches. Sources close to the matter suggest that the SFA's disciplinary committee convened in secret, examining every press conference, interview, and social media post linked to the club, leaving insiders stunned at the intensity of the scrutiny. The fine, described by some as astronomical, reportedly sent a clear message that public dissent would not be tolerated, sparking a wave of discussion among fans who feel the governing body is overstepping. Rangers, meanwhile, are said to be far from accepting the punishment quietly, with board members reportedly convening emergency meetings to plot a strategy that could involve formal appeals, media campaigns, and legal consultation. Fans have already taken to forums and social media channels, speculating on the potential fallout, with many pointing out previous inconsistencies in disciplinary actions across the league, further fueling a sense of injustice. Analysts are hinting that the club's response could reshape its relationship with the SFA, potentially escalating into a wider conflict that might dominate headlines for weeks, giving rise to debates on governance, fairness, and accountability within Scottish football. Rumors circulating in insider circles suggest that Rangers' reaction could involve more than just formal appeals, with some board members reportedly considering a coordinated campaign to challenge the perception of refereeing bias. Whispers indicate that top executives have been in contact with influential media figures, planning to release strategically timed statements that could sway public opinion and put pressure on the SFA. Fans are reportedly preparing to amplify these efforts online, using social media platforms to express solidarity with the club and highlight perceived injustices in recent matches. Meanwhile, ex-players and pundits have been quietly consulted for their take on the controversy, with several allegedly ready to provide commentary that underlines inconsistencies in officiating across the league. Observers note that this multi-pronged approach, if executed effectively, could create a storm that transcends a simple fine and enters the territory of political maneuvering within Scottish football. Insiders suggest that the club is meticulously planning each step, aware that any misstep could backfire and result in harsher penalties or reputational damage, making this unfolding saga one of the most closely watched disputes in recent memory. The tension is palpable, and the expectation is that every move will be scrutinized with relentless intensity by fans, media, and the SFA itself. According to sources within the club, Rangers leadership is frustrated not only by the fine, but by what they perceive as an ongoing bias in officiating that has affected crucial fixtures. This frustration, insiders say, has led to urgent internal discussions about how to protect the club's integrity while avoiding further escalation that could alienate supporters or league authorities. The club's lawyers are reportedly drafting detailed responses, citing precedents where other teams received lighter sanctions for comparable actions, a move that could form the backbone of an appeal challenging the proportionality of the punishment. Supporters have been vocal online, with fan forums overflowing with speculation about what a public response might look like, ranging from press conferences to open letters, each idea aimed at amplifying the club's stance. Some suggest that Rangers could leverage its international profile to attract media attention outside Scotland, increasing pressure on the SFA to reconsider or mitigate the fine. Observers highlight that while the fine may seem financial in nature, its symbolic weight is significant, representing the broader struggle between clubs and governing bodies over public criticism and the right to voice grievances without fear of retaliation or disproportionate consequences, a dynamic that could have long-term implications for Scottish football governance. The mood inside Ibrox, according to those close to the club, is charged with a mix of indignation and strategic calculation. Staff members reportedly work around the clock, coordinating with legal advisors, communications teams, and even former players whose reputations can lend credibility to the club's position. Rumors indicate that the timing of the club's public response is being carefully orchestrated, possibly aligning with upcoming fixtures to maximize media coverage and fan engagement. Analysts following the situation suggest that Rangers could be preparing a multi-channel strategy, combining social media campaigns, press statements, and subtle diplomatic gestures to sway public perception and apply pressure on the SFA indirectly. The overarching narrative emerging from these insider sources is one of defiance mixed with tactical restraint, with Rangers determined to assert its perspective while avoiding any actions that could be construed as reckless or inflammatory. Observers note that the potential repercussions extend beyond the immediate fine, as the club's stance could influence broader debates around governance, transparency, and accountability in Scottish football, creating a precedent for how teams interact publicly with officials and regulatory bodies in the future. The intensity of this situation has fans glued to every update, eagerly anticipating the next move in a saga that promises drama, controversy, and passionate discussion. Insiders claim that one of the club's key concerns is maintaining supporter trust while navigating this disciplinary storm. Rangers, according to sources, are acutely aware that fans expect transparency, consistency, and a sense of fight when the club perceives an injustice, making the stakes for the public response extremely high. Discussions are said to have included strategies for digital outreach, including carefully crafted statements, video messages from executives, and collaborations with well-known commentators who can articulate the club's grievances to a wider audience. Pundits have noted that this approach is unusual in Scottish football, where clubs often prefer to handle disputes quietly, suggesting that Rangers is attempting to redefine the power dynamic between clubs and the governing body. Rumors indicate that former players and respected figures within the Scottish game have been quietly brought into these plans, ready to lend their voices in subtle ways that reinforce the club's argument without overtly antagonizing the SFA. Observers suggest that if successful, this campaign could shift public discourse, forcing the governing body to respond to pressure not only through formal channels, but also through the court of public opinion, setting the stage for an unprecedented confrontation in the annals of Scottish football governance and fan culture. The speculation surrounding Rangers' next steps has created a feverish atmosphere among supporters and media alike. Every interview, social media post, or even casual comment from club personnel is being dissected for hints of strategy, as fans eagerly anticipate how the saga will unfold. Rumors suggest that the club may opt for a phased approach, gradually escalating public pressure while simultaneously preparing formal appeals and legal arguments behind the scenes. Analysts note that this dual strategy reflects a sophisticated understanding of modern sports media, where perception, timing, and narrative control are as important as the actual content of statements or filings. According to sources, some club insiders are even in discussions with former referees, seeking expert commentary that could bolster claims of inconsistency or bias in officiating, further strengthening the club's position. The combination of legal, media, and strategic maneuvering paints a picture of a club fully mobilized, prepared to challenge the fine in multiple arenas simultaneously. Observers are suggesting that what began as a straightforward disciplinary action may evolve into a landmark case for Scottish football, illustrating how clubs can leverage public sentiment, media expertise, and legal frameworks to contest decisions they perceive as unjust, signaling a potential shift in the sport's traditional dynamics. The anticipation surrounding Rangers' counteraction has reportedly reached fever pitch, with insiders hinting at behind-the-scenes meetings that could redefine the club's approach to governance disputes in Scottish football. Sources suggest that senior executives are mapping out a series of public statements timed to maximize impact, ensuring that every message resonates with supporters while subtly challenging the authority of the SFA. Social media channels are said to be playing a key role in this strategy, with content creators, fan influencers, and even former players poised to amplify the club's narrative, creating a wave of public attention that the governing body may struggle to ignore. Rumors indicate that Rangers' legal team is meticulously analyzing every precedent, crafting arguments that could highlight perceived inconsistencies in past disciplinary actions, aiming to undermine the SFA's rationale for the fine. Observers note that this multifaceted approach represents a departure from traditional club responses, blending legal rigor, media savvy, and fan engagement into a coordinated effort. Fans, according to insiders, are fully aware of the stakes, eagerly sharing leaks, hints, and commentary online, fostering an environment where the story grows beyond the confines of boardrooms, creating a dynamic interplay between supporters, media, and governing bodies, all while Rangers prepares for what could be a defining confrontation in the club's modern history. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers from within the club suggest that Rangers may be preparing to engage former referees and officials in their media strategy, providing insider perspectives that could subtly question recent officiating decisions. Analysts note that if executed effectively, such a move could shift the narrative from a mere fine to a wider debate about fairness and consistency in Scottish football. Rumors indicate that the club's communications team is working tirelessly to craft statements that are assertive without appearing confrontational, balancing the need to defend the club's integrity with the risk of escalating tensions unnecessarily. Fans, according to sources, are already anticipating these moves, creating their own campaigns on social media to support the club's stance, highlighting controversial refereeing moments, and drawing comparisons with other clubs' disciplinary outcomes. Insiders hint that Rangers board is conscious of timing, possibly coordinating the release of public statements around upcoming fixtures to maximize attention and impact. Experts monitoring the situation suggest that this approach signals a modern, media-savvy club capable of leveraging multiple channels to influence public perception while simultaneously preparing formal challenges, potentially setting a new precedent for how clubs interact with governing bodies, legal frameworks, and fan communities in high-stakes disciplinary disputes. Sources close to the matter reveal that Rangers' executive board is reportedly split between a desire for swift resolution and a strategy that could escalate pressure on the SFA over the coming weeks. Rumors suggest that some senior figures favor a phased approach, beginning with carefully worded statements highlighting the perceived inconsistencies in officiating, followed by legal appeals and, potentially, public engagement campaigns designed to draw widespread attention to the club's grievances. Analysts point out that this dual strategy is particularly effective in modern football, where media narratives can often sway opinion as much as formal proceedings. Insiders indicate that Rangers' legal team has been poring over every decision, precedent, and regulatory document to construct an airtight appeal, while communications specialists plan synchronized releases that coincide with key moments in the football calendar. Fans, according to leaks from supporter forums, are already mobilizing, sharing hashtags, commentary, and strategic discussions to amplify the club's message. Experts suggest that the combination of legal precision, media acumen, and fan involvement represents a sophisticated approach rarely seen in Scottish football, one that could reshape how clubs negotiate disciplinary actions, manage public perception, and assert authority in situations where they feel aggrieved by governing bodies, ultimately influencing the balance of power in the sport. The intensity of discussions within Rangers' inner circle, according to sources, reflects the high stakes involved, with senior staff reportedly working around the clock to ensure that every aspect of the club's response is coherent, compelling, and legally sound. Rumors indicate that part of the strategy may involve preemptively highlighting instances where refereeing decisions have historically affected other clubs, framing the narrative in a way that questions consistency and fairness without directly attacking individual officials. Observers note that this approach allows Rangers to maintain a position of principled resistance while avoiding direct confrontation that could lead to further sanctions. Fans, insiders suggest, are integral to this process, serving as amplifiers of the club's message across forums, social media, and fan networks, creating a grassroots momentum that can influence public perception and media coverage alike. Analysts hint that if Rangers can successfully coordinate legal, media, and fan-driven strategies, the club could potentially pressure the SFA into reconsidering or mitigating the fine, while simultaneously asserting its position as a proactive, media-savvy institution capable of navigating complex disputes. This emerging dynamic, insiders believe, could set a precedent for how clubs approach disciplinary challenges, blending public influence with formal procedures to achieve strategic objectives in modern football governance. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.